What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be The Predator. Now, this one comes from 20th Century Fox, which will soon be swallowed up by a shirtless mouse with piano gloves on, but until then, it is 20th Century Fox, and it comes from director and co-writer Shane Black. And now this one tells the story of the Predator, the same Predator alien race from the first one from 1987, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, as it comes to Earth to hunt, maybe to kill, maybe to warn us about something. The human race. What is it warning us about? Does it want us? What is it doing? I have no clue. But you know what? Jacob Tremblay in the movie, he comes across that Predator mask. He sends off a signal to outer space, and this super Predator with super Predator dogs with dreads on, they pick up the signal. And that super Predator and his dogs come to Earth to try to stop whatever this Predator is doing. So that's basically the story, and then we have a group of mercenaries that try to go hunt it down. You have the government also trying to hunt it down. It's just a bunch of people trying to hunt this thing down so it doesn't disturb the human race. And it's super violent. That's what we got. Anyways, when the first two trailers dropped for this movie, I wasn't really excited. I am a fan of like alien invasion movies or, like creature features, genre films, splatterfest. I love it all. But those first two trailers seemed a little bland to me, and I wasn't really like looking forward to it. I was like, I will watch it because I like Shane Black and his work, but it wasn't really hooking me. But you know what? 20th Century Fox, what they decided to do was drop a final red band trailer in this last week of marketing. They're like, hey, this movie's coming out. And they just slapped it on the internet, and here we are. And you know what? Even though that trailer, all it was just all the violent scenes, which were mostly all of the scenes in the movie, it still hooked me in to where I was like, oh, wow, that was kind of cool. Utilizing the R rating, that's what I like to see. So then I saw the movie. I will not recommend this movie to anyone. I will not buy it when it comes out. I don't even want to see it again. I'm going to forget about it by the end of the year. But you know what? I had a fun, bloody, pun intended, good time. It is entertaining. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't need to be high art. It is there for entertainment's sake. And I couldn't ask for anything less. So let's get real and break this down. Director and co-writer Shane Black, which I'm a big fan of, by the way. I love Me, the Nice Guys. Iron Man 3 is growing on me. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is amazing. Lethal Weapon, and of course his involvement with the original Predator from 1987. So he's familiar with this world. But what Shane Black did with this movie was, you know what? Here is this story. It's a very simple story. Alien comes to Earth. People try to fight alien. Bigger alien comes down. People try to fight bigger alien. That's it. But that's what's so great about it, because there's nothing excessive about it in terms of story. It's not bloated. It's not like too ridiculous. It's lean, straight to the point. There's no fat on this story. It's just a very just like tight movie with no wasted energy at all. It's just kind of like it starts and it ends, and it's just a nonstop kind of like hunt thrill ride, if you will, and there's nothing wrong with that. With some character moments in between, but Shane Black created a very entertaining movie with no wasted parts or energy. It was a well-edited film. It's paced very well. Like I said, it's nonstop violence and action throughout the entire thing. And also another thing with the violence is that Shane Black utilizes that R rating, like I said earlier. It is bloody, it is brutal, it is unrelentless. This thing is some of the most violent pieces of imagery I've seen in quite some time in a movie, probably until the new Halloween comes out. And I was completely satisfied, because this is a predator. This is an alien race that doesn't take any answers from anybody and just kills. There's no talking. It just kills. And people's heads are blowing up. People's bodies are getting sliced. I'm down for that. That was good stuff. Where Shane Black kind of falters a little bit is the writing of characters and dialogue that is injected with humor. Now, Shane Black is no stranger to dialogue. He's actually really good at it. If you watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, it is just a nonstop type of like Quentin Tarantino type of movie where Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer are just going back and forth. But that's what's so interesting about it, because they're really well written characters going back and forth trying to solve this case. With The Predator, it's a different scenario because all the actors that are portraying their characters are likable, but their characters are fine, and you want to see them succeed in their mission, but that's about it. It's just kind of like, cool, go get that alien race. Go sacrifice yourself. So some of the characters work, like a Boyd Holbrook. I thought he was a great leader in the group. He's very charismatic. I liked him in Logan from last year, and he carries that kind of devilish charm, if you will, over into this one. Trevante Rhodes, I'm a huge fan of ever since I saw him in Moonlight. He's good in it. Keegan-Michael Key, some decent one-liners. Not all of them are good, but decent. Everyone else kind of falls flat. Some of the characters are kind of left off to the side, and Shane Black didn't really develop them that well. But it's a Predator film. What are you going to do? Thomas Jane's character and Alfie Allen's and the other gentleman, whose name I cannot remember, they were there and they did some cool stuff, but their characters didn't really matter in the long run. And then you got people like Jacob Tremblay, which he's there for a couple scenes. The blonde chick from Dexter and I, Frankenstein. Yeah, I forgot her name too. And then Sterling K. Brown, he's in there, and his character is entertaining, I guess. But every time he says an F-bomb, it's really hilarious because it doesn't sound natural coming out of his mouth. So yeah, I think some of the characters work, some of them don't, but I think it's fine enough for this movie to where it doesn't really offend me on a character level or even a dialogue level. And speaking of dialogue, some of the stuff is not funny. It's just 60% of this movie falls flat for me in terms of humor. I get what Shane Black was going for. He has a very very dark sense of humor. I get that. It's the humor in this movie is, like I said, it's a nice cut through with all the harsh and heavy violence. I get that, but some of it just felt really bad. Keegan-Michael Key in particular said like 2 mom jokes, and I was like, okay. And then like Thomas Jane, I don't think this was Shane Black's intention, because he is a gentleman that has said that he has Tourette's. But Thomas Jane felt like his Tourette's was just meant for comedic value. I didn't really find it particularly funny. It just felt more awkward than anything. So I don't know. It's just the characters are all up and down. But you're not there for the characters. You're there for the Predator action, which is very well handled. And speaking of the Predator, the visual effects, practical-wise, are fantastic. The character design are so intricate in detail, you feel like they are an actual alien race, and that's what's so great about visual effects and CGI, is you can bring these things to life and make them feel palpable and grounded in some type of reality. And so I thought the practical work on the Predator was great. The ship looked nice. Some of the outer space stuff looked pretty good. Where it kind of falters a little bit is the Super Predator and its Super Predator dogs with dreads, with Predator dreads. Those looked awful. In particular, the dogs. The Super Predator, for the most part, looked okay. And in some shots, you could definitely tell it was not rendered properly. But those Predator dogs remind me of the meat dog from the Bye Bye Man. Oh, man. Every time they were in a shot, it looked so unnatural. And I was like, that thing is not there. Like, it takes you out of the movie for a little bit. And it's also kind of a weird design. But, yeah, that didn't really work. And then some of the green screen work didn't really work for me. There's one shot that lasts like 20 seconds with Boyd Holbrook and Olivia Munn with a green screen backdrop of them driving. And it looks like something from the 1950s. It looked awful. But some of it worked, some of it didn't. But I think for the most part, the practical effects definitely outweigh the CGI elements of the movie, and I thought it worked out pretty well. And then you know what? Here's a weird complaint about the movie, because I respect Larry Fong. I respect that man. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the DP, the director of photography. He has shot movies like Watchmen, Batman v Superman, 300, Kong Skull Island. The guy knows how to shoot. He knows how to set up a scene and make it look extremely gorgeous. I gotta be honest. It's kind of his weakest work. I didn't really feel like there was anything of his value that was added to this movie. I just felt like someone, they grabbed, in the back of a warehouse somewhere, like, hey, can you shoot a movie? Yeah, I can press record. All right, you're in. So I felt like it was kind of like visually a little flat a little bit. And you know what the biggest offense of this movie was the lighting. I hated the lighting in this movie. It bothered me to no end. When Jacob Tremblay goes into his house and it's like this bright, white, sterile hospital look, I was like, this isn't realistic. There's nothing that resembles any type of lighting that would actually be like this. It looks like a set. Some of the alien inside shots, same way. Most of the scenes have very weird lighting. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me because, I'm blind. But it didn't really appeal to me on a cinematography level. And it really kind of took me out. And also, just one last thing before I wrap up. The music is very loud, boisterous, epic, and kind of unnecessary. Almost kind of like the movie itself and the violence in this movie. I think that's a great way to wrap it up. So, you know what? I had a fun time in the theater. I do not regret that. I won't recommend this. I won't ever watch this again. I will forget about it as soon as I stop recording this review. I'm going to give The Predator a B-. It's a fun time in the theaters. If it's not your thing, please skip it and do not take my word for it. But for me personally, a B-. I'm comfortable with saying that. It was, as I put in my comment card last night, a solid, bloody good time. And I stand by that. So that will do it for this review, guys. Please let me know down below what you thought of The Predator, or even Predator from 1987, or Predators with Adrian Brody in 2010. Let me know about all the Predator action. You know what I'm saying? So let me know down below if you've seen The Predator and what you thought of it. I'm Chase Lee, guys, reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.